All right. Before you start our notes for today, I do want you to take a little bit of time and review this because we are still having showcases on it. And at this point, with the end of the semester coming up, I really don't want you skipping everything. So we are solving. You can use your map here. And just remember that when you are done solving, that we were going to have an alligator in our problem, excuse me, and that we got to make sure that the alligator is happy. Okay? So the first thing you do with your map is you do need to look at, is there one type of x or is there more than one type of x? This has one type of x, so I will be trying to factor. First step of all factoring is GCF, which I don't note one, so I'm going to go straight to my x. And I need factors of negative 18x squared. That get me to negative 3x. And then those factors would be a 6 and a 3, with the 6 being negative. So since I can factor it, I'm going to set up my factors, my parentheses. I'm going to go ahead and put those x's in there. And then I will just double check, are the x's enough to make x squared, which they are. So I'm going to draw my face to get the side numbers. And these are both x, so it really doesn't matter which one I start with. So I'll use this x and I'll multiply it with a negative 6 to make this. And then I'll use this loop, x times what makes the 3x, and that would be a positive 3. Once you're done, remember for solving, if there's an equal sign, you just set your factors equal to 0, subtract the 3, add the 6, and you're done. So again, if there's an equal sign, this problem is done. But because there is an inequality, we're going to check out the alligator. And for me, the easiest number to put back into this original problem, again, is 0, because 0 squared is 0, 3 times 0 is 0, and that basically makes all of that disappear. So the only thing that's left is this, is negative 18 is less than 0. And remember, 0 is here, and we're seeing is negative 18 less than 0. And it is. Our alligator's happy right here. So we're going to put that wavy line in there, and so I need one interval to show where it's happy from negative 3 to 6, and it will be parentheses because this is not underlined. I should not include it. So the other problems, you're just, approach it a little differently. So if you do number 4, there's one type of x. So I'm going to isolate. I'm going to add my 9 over, and then I'm going to divide by 4, and then I'm just going to square root. And if you want to square root this fraction, just get your square root going first, and then in the parentheses, just do 9 divided by 4, and you're going to get 1.5. Just don't forget that it's a positive and a negative 1.5. And now, because there's an alligator, we're going to see where our alligator is going to be happy. And I'm going to, again, the easiest number for this problem is just to put 0 in, which happens to be right there. And if you put 0 in, that will make this term disappear. So now the inequality we're looking at is negative 9 greater than 0, which is not true. He does not want to be here, so he'd rather be here or here. And I'm going to write this one as negative infinity to negative 1.5. And this one is 1.5 to infinity. And again, I'll use parentheses because this is not included. All right, the word problems. The idea on the word problems is, again, I want you to use Desmos on your computers. Put this in Desmos and figure out where on your shape you would get your answers. On the back, again, you're going to go to Desmos. You're going to put this in there. And once you, well, I take that back. According to your model, what was the population of the city in the year 1900? Let's go back and read the problem. The quadratic equation, P of t, models the population in thousands of a city since the year 1900. So 1900 is the beginning. That's like x just being 0. So for this question, you're actually going to evaluate what was the city in the beginning when x was 0. So, just going here and putting 0 in. Now, after how many years did the population of the town reach its maximum? Here, go to Desmos and see where to look. And then I just actually want you to take C off because 95,000 is not a correct number that would work in this problem. All right, finally, we should look at re-practicing writing these equations. I'm going to take the one that's a quadratic, and just remember we're going to be putting this into vertex form. We did this the other day. And you're going to need a vertex. So 4, negative 6, and that's going to be an H and a K. And then you need one other point. Now, if you don't know that other point, just go up and visit the substitute teacher that's in here, or it might be me in here, and pick another point, and they can tell you which one to use. So 6, 2 is a point I can tell, and I'm going to let that be my x and y. So I'm just going to take these letters, put them where they go. So A is the one we don't know. In parentheses, I'll do x minus h, so 6 minus 4. And then I'll put my k, so I'll put plus negative 6. And that will equal my y, which is 2. And if you remember, the first thing we did is we got that k over there, so I'm going to add 6 to the other side. So it's going to give me 8, right? And then from there what I want to do is just clean this up. So 6 take away 4 is 2, and then 2 squared is 4, so this just becomes a times 4 equaling 8. And then to get a by itself, I'm going to divide by 4, so my a is 2. You're not done because you do need to find the equation, and so remember when you graph, you need to stretch, compress, flip, left, right, up, down. So I'm going to put my stretch in. I'll leave x as it is, and I'm going to do minus my h value, so I'm going to go back and put minus 4. And then I'm going to add my k value and put your negative 6 in. And then, if you do want to check your answers right, go to Desmos or even your graphing calculator, type this in, hit zoom 6 on your graphing calculator, and you should see this picture. So the only thing that's going to be different on this one is that you will have a cube instead of a squared. And then this point will be your hk. And I'll go ahead and say this negative 1 and 6 can be your xy. On this one, here's your hk, and then if I were to pick my xy, I would probably just pick this, and it will be 0, negative 1. And that's it. I will see you later.